Hello, here's the news at this hour from TSTV. I am Mobola Badikale. Here are some major headlines. Stop running Oyo like your company, SAKA BALOGUN tells SEYI MAKINDE. Doctors on COVID-19 duties, others begin strike next week. Pope tells Italians not to celebrate over victory against coronavirus too soon. And finally, 4 years after football world mourns Stephen KESHI. The news in details. The ruling party in Oyo State, the People's Democratic Party, has described a statement credited to the state chapter of the All Progressives Congress through its statement by Chief Akinoke that the opposition was warming up by its reconciliation to return to government in the state as a clear show of grandstanding over monumental failure. The Oyo State PDP made this disclosure in a statement signed by its State Publicity Secretary, Engineer Akim Olatunji, and made available to journalists in Ibadan, the state capital. The ruling party stated that it was unfortunate that despite the colossal failure of the last administration in the state under the misrule of APC government, it still has the courage to parade itself as an association to be taken seriously, adding that the party, instead of coming out clean to apologize for its unrivaled failure, massive looting of public funds, cutting away of public properties, the APC was emboldened to still taunt the people instead of showing remorse for the people, as continued to display sheer affront and assault on the people's collective sensibility, despite the unspeakable hardship they were subjected to in the last 8 years. According to the statement, Oyo State PDP wondered if the state chapter of APC was in its usual nature grandstanding over the people's will or merely living in self-denial of obvious rejection by the same people they are so desperate to lord themselves over once again. And following allegation over neglect of party leaders and members of People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Oyo State by Governor SEYI MAKINDE, Dr. SAKA BALOGUN has appealed to the concerned people to embrace peace. This is just as he cautioned MAKINDE against running the state and party like his personal company. Balogun, who made this known in an interview, disclosed that MAKINDE has more of campaign experience, but not enough government running experience. This, Balogun attributed to the lack of elders committee within the Oyo PDP. Governor Okezie Piazzi of Abia State has tested positive for coronavirus. The State Commissioner for Information, John Kalu, made this known in a statement today. The Commissioner said that the Governor has since gone into isolation as required by protocols of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. Kalu added that the Governor has directed his deputy, Ude Chukwu, to act on his behalf pending his recovery and resumption of duties. The National Association of Resident Doctors and umbrella body of all doctors working in government health facilities has issued a notice of strike effective Monday, June 15, 2020. The association said the call for strike also includes doctors attending to COVID-19 patients and other emergencies. The national president of NARD, Dr. Aliyu Sukumba, said this in an official letter with reference number D/SG/2019-2020/070620/246. The NARD president said the strike would be total regardless of the current pandemic. Sukumba said the action had become necessary due to the failure of the government to redeem its pledges, especially in the areas of salary arrears and working condition. While sympathizing with Nigerians and patients as a whole, the doctors said they could no longer condone government neglect. NARD said the plight of its members in the state health facilities was sometimes worse than those at the federal institutions. Adamu Atiku Abubakar, son of presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the 2019 presidential election, yesterday said that his father Alhaji Atiku Abubakar will contest for the #1 office come 2023. The Commissioner for Works and Energy disclosed this while presenting the scorecard of his ministry as the administration of Governor Ahmadu Finitiri of Adamawa State celebrates 1 year in office. You would recall that Atiku had contested for the #1 position for 5 times and lost. And moving on to the foreign scene, the coronavirus pandemic has killed 749 people in the United States in the past 24 hours, according to figures released by Johns Hopkins University. The latest deaths bring the total in the United States to 109,791, and there have been more than 1.9 million cases, according to a real-time tally maintained by the Baltimore-based university. Some 500,000 people have recovered from the disease, as the United States has suffered by far the largest number of both COVID-19 deaths and infection. On a per capita basis, however, some European countries, including France, Italy, and Spain, have a higher death toll. President Donald Trump said Friday that the United States was largely through the pandemic and renewed his call on governors to ease lockdown measures in the states. United Kingdom UK introduced a 2-week quarantine on Monday for most people arriving from abroad to try to limit the spread of the coronavirus, a measure roundly condemned by the ailing aviation sector. To enter Britain by plane, train, road or sea, travelers must provide details of their journey and the address where they will self-isolate. How the quarantine will be implemented differs between Britain's devolved nations, and the measures will be assessed every 3 weeks. Exemptions are being made in several cases, including for lorry drivers, essential health workers, and people traveling from Ireland who have been there for at least 2 weeks. And finally, Pope Francis on Sunday warned Italians not to let their guards down against coronavirus now that infection rates are falling, and urged them to obey government rules and social distancing and wearing face masks. Francis, addressing several hundred people in St. Peter's Square for his Sunday blessing, reacted to applause that broke out when he said their presence, albeit reduced, was a sign that Italy had overcome the acute phase of the pandemic. Nearly 34,000 people have died in Italy from the coronavirus, the 4th highest toll in the world after the United States, Britain, and Brazil. The number of daily deaths has fallen from nearly 1,000 several months ago to 72 on Saturday. Italy entered the latest phase of an easing of restriction on June 3rd, when people were allowed to travel between regions again. And now to the exciting world of sport. Australian city Sydney has made an audacious bid to host a blockbuster heavyweight rematch between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, with promoters eyeing Boxing Day for the trilogy super fight. Promoter Dane Lonergan has tentatively booked Bankwest Stadium in the city's west for the bout, the Australian reported today. Semi-autonomous Chinese city Macau is also in the running. Following a controversial draw in December 2018, Britain's Fury, unbeaten as a professional, overpowered American Wilder in Las Vegas in February, beating him in 7 rounds. Wilder has activated the rematch clause in his contract, with a time yet to be fixed after the original date of July 18 was scrapped because of the corona pandemic. Arum confirmed in an interview at the weekend that Sydney was in the mix along with Macau. Both cities have got on top of COVID-19 and appear more likely to allow fans than the Britain or the US. Las Vegas could still host the fight if spectators are allowed back into the venues. Tributes poured in on Sunday for the late Super Eagles coach Stephen KESHI who died June 7, 2016, aged 54. The 2013 Africa Cup of Nations winning coach died of heart attack in Benin City, the Edo State capital. The World Football Governing Body, FIFA, Confederation of African Football, Nigeria Football Federation, and Eagles assistant coach Joseph Yobo were among those who paid tribute to the ex-Eagles coach. Others include former Ghanaian international and CAF Deputy General Secretary Anthony Buffon, former Ivory Coast striker Didier Drogba, and Eagles defenders Kenneth Omeru and Shehu Abdullahi. And with that, we come to the end of the news. Here is a recap of the headlines. Stop running or you're like your company, SAKA BALOGUN tells SEYI MAKINDE. Doctors on COVID-19 duties, others begin strike next week. Pope tells Italians not to celebrate victory over coronavirus too soon. And finally, 4 years after football world mourns Stephen KESHI. As the world eases out of lockdown, kindly ensure to take all advice and precautions as given by health workers. I am Mobola Badekale. Good day and thank you for watching.